The college basketball experience bombs down under episode for Tuesday, February 27th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today using the promo code SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter our bonus contest. 5 winners will receive shirts, hats, and a $50 SGPN gift card. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Bombs down under for Tuesday, February 27th. We might give you a little bit of Monday night play action as far as a couple plays that we like, but this is majority looking at that Tuesday slate. And just talking college hoops because, well, I love talking college hoops. It's what I do each and every day of my life. And, well, I mean, we got a lot to talk about because hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Get on over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. But if you're listening to this on the audio side of things, that's okay too. But just get on over to iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Subscribe. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swiggin, Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh, I have been drinking and celebrating. All right, I have been celebrating.
Yes.
All right, White Tiger was born, and they say it's hard to parent. I've just been celebrating. White Tiger's been watching games with me. He also has a take on this ridiculous nonsense we'll bring up in a second. But hey, right now, I am joined by the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. They call this guy the man in the box, a.k.a. the Bet Detective. Coming off a, 8-1 weekend?
8-1 week, 5-0 Saturday play slate.
Well, I don't get.
Give it up for CJ Sullivan. How you doing, brother?
Good, buddy, and I'm glad you're celebrating. You know what? I mean, after 2 weeks, the kid's on its own. You did the hard part.
Yeah.
You got it. White Tiger, you can fend off. I mean, I've seen the nature videos. That's all it takes. 2 weeks. You get it on its feet. You get it on its knees to its feet.
Take the training wheels off and fly. Yeah. Fly. All right.
Storm that court. You go from storming the court to trying to keep the court storm away from us. We can't storm the Capitol anymore. They took that away from us. Now we can't storm some courts.
White Tiger. I'm looking forward to White Tiger being able to storm many of college basketball courts. We'll just get right into it before we start talking these games. CJ, I don't know if you haven't had a chance to hear the show. I mean, but I'm curious. I'll let you lead the way on this. What's your take on this ridiculous, or on this Wake Forest Duke nonsense and this
court storming?
Clark, yes.
Of course, it culminates with Duke. You know it was always going to be Duke. So I'm like, and then when he goes down with the ankle, and then they pick him up like it's a World War II soldier and legging him in like with a fucking Reagan assassination attempt or something, like, dragging him out. Like, dear God, Flipowski. I mean, he fucking faking his ankle. Like, here's the thing with the court storm. Like you said, it's a time tradition. It's these college kids. It's what they do. It's what separates them. from the NBA. Is it a little dangerous? Sure, it could be that, but like they usually go around, the players. But for these people on ESPN to get all sanctimonious, Jay Billis saying everyone should get arrested, just give them you're all detained. Why don't you just drop a net down like it's a fucking trap and lock them up? They make money off this reckless drunk and these kids. That's what they do. They have the game days. They have them all work up. They have the half court shots, and then they're gonna they're gonna fucking wave their finger and flip their nose for the other thing they do. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand the inconsistencies that they. I don't even know where to start. Like from the start, I thought Filipowski went out of his way to trip the guy. I didn't think that was,
I think it goes either
just like
way.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark went out of the way, in my opinion, to bang into that person. Which
I also think is their right to do.
Sure.
When these guys are storming at you like Woodstock 99, coming at you like full on slot, and you're a 7-footer, you should be able to throw elbows up and twist ankles in on there. But it's probably something's gonna happen to you as well. It's kind of like the barrel rolling or something.
But some of the biggest robbery in the past 60 years.
I was just gonna say, I do think the crowd should have a few more obstacles. They shouldn't have a direct line right to the players. They should be like dogs unleashed or something.
But
they
weren't even trying to see Filipowski. They were trying to go to the middle of the court to party with their players. That's what I'm saying. It's all bullshit. And to me, like, colleges have been getting away with murder for 60 fucking years as far as charging kids unbelievable tuition. Unbelievable fucking tuition. You pay your tuition, you have the right to fucking storm. We pay the salaries. We pay the salaries of all those fucking coaches, the athletic director, all that shit. I don't want to hear it. And it's been going on for 150 years. We could talk about Bob Cousy. We could talk about Jimmy Valvano in the national championship. They've been storming forever. All right. And there's never been any real injuries. All right. This Caitlin Clark thing or this is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And more injuries, way worse injuries happen on the actual court in the game of basketball than they do on court storming. So I think this is just to see these people get on these platforms. Like, to me, it's disgusting. Like it's Seth Greenberg. You are a former college coach. You got rich essentially off the spirit of college basketball and court storming.
Absolutely.
My biggest memory is when of Seth Greenberg coach teams is in Blacksburg when they pulled off an upset against Duke and they stormed the court. All right. I mean, so shut the fuck up. You guys have been capitalizing off of this for so long. Seth Davis is saying, they should never be allowed to be on the same level as the players. Do you see that at a concert? Yes, I do see it at lots of concerts I go to. Lots of concerts. What are you talking about?
Have you never seen a mosh pit? Have you never seen a band come out to the crowd? Yeah, he did say, how come you don't see it in the NBA? Because they know they'll be in handcuffs. No, because for the NBA, they're spending $4,000.
And it's a corporate.
And they're 50 years old. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. It's a corporate dollars. Dude, I've been to so many NBA games. I've gotten gifted packages where you're part of this whole section in the third row that is all from whatever company. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here, man. I just think I've never seen such a topic be covered without really with such a disconnection for knowing what the fans want. Why is college basketball or college football? I think it's one of the things that makes it super unique is how intimate the game is. That's to me what one of the biggest driving factors in my appreciation for college football and college basketball. The history, but also the fact that this has been going on forever. Your grandfather stormed this court or stormed that field, right?
He stormed that Normandy, and then he stormed the goddamn court.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this shit, you can go back a long ways. And see shit getting stormed in 1941 or 1937, so this is part of American history. This is part of like the game. Get the fuck out of here. People saying that it shouldn't exist. We don't want college basketball to be the NBA. All right. The NBA to me is boring as fuck. All right. The minute if you were to ever change this or try to implement some crazy thing, the game suffers, your product suffers. That's what I mean is they're so oblivious. TV ratings would suffer long term. The sport would suffer if you get rid of court storming.
What do you think of that suggestion of the minute countdown? of the fans. How do you regulate? That'd be amazing. Where they're sitting on the side, like counting down a minute. First of all, do you know how long it is to count a minute down? When you count that out loud with your conscience, 44, 43, 42. Who's going to say, all right, fuck it, let's go. To give the players time to get off to the sideline, you know? That is kind of hilarious.
And shout out to Colt, who gives us $5. Appreciate you, Colt. Grayson
yes.
Allen hurt more players while playing for Duke than Court Storms have hurt. Yes, exactly. Well, and let's talk about the Duke side of this, because I find this so fucking hilarious. Oh, there was 0.4 seconds on the clock, and they're on the court. Well, shout out to the internet, because don't have to look that far back. Duke took down Clemson in September, and their entire student body, I feel like, was on the field at the 50-yard line with 20 seconds left in that
Football game, right?
Yes, and also. One of the most common things, my brother's a Duke fan, by the way, and he goes, we don't storm, right? We don't storm. And I'm looking forward to having my brother on the show today, because you did. You stormed when you were number 1 in the nation, and Coach K won his 500th game, and you were a heavy favorite. You stormed. We have proof of it. You can check out my Twitter page at the Colby D. That happened. Also, when you weren't the top 5, top 10 team every year, go back to the 80s. When Duke was 4th or 5th in the pecking order. It was kind of North Carolina, Maryland. You could argue Georgia Tech. You could argue NC State. There's plenty of footage. I shared this one too, of them storming courts as dogs. It happens all the time. It's the nature of the beast, and it's what makes college sports great. And all this shit started with Alabama football, by the way. When Tennessee took that goalpost to the Tennessee River.
Took it to the river.
Which was awesome.
Amazing.
Nick Saban in Alabama filed a big complaint about the storming, right? And Greg Sankey then made big headlines on no storming the field, a big time fine. He actually was trying to get it. I want to say like home games or away games taken away from him.
Right.
What's up?
First of all, who's more prepared for a storming than an Alabama football team? You got Alabama football players in full equipment. Nick Saban surrounded by state troopers with guns cocked. Like, you guys are fine. Don't worry about the fucking storming. Because I like what people are saying. I think like Colin Coward said something like, they should add more security. Add like 30 security. What do you think security guards are going to do? First of all, they make $11 an hour. They're not stopping anybody. They don't want to stop anybody. They're going to be, they're not going to fucking tackle some frat guy who's flying in, who's fucking hopped up on fentanyl.
And to me, like, first off, Stacking the Money had a good joke with Alabama's letting their basketball program, like they're just they're playing hot potato with the gun involved in a murder, and everything's fine. But God forbid Tennessee have some fun on their home fucking stadium.
No shit. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I can't believe the amount of people that actually think it's wrong, because to have people that cover the sport or have played the sport to say this. Now, thankfully, some players have come out on Twitter in defense of court storming, saying, no, this is great. But the amount of people to be that out of touch with your product, I find mind numbing to me.
Now, do you think this court storming is all this aside? Before that, it seems like it was getting diluted. A lot of people say if your team is favored, you shouldn't storm the court. You shouldn't just willy-nilly storm every victory. It should be for special occasions. Now, my counterpoint is, yes, Wake Forest was the favorite, but counterpoint is fuck Duke. Anytime you beat Duke, you're allowed to storm. That's just
they should storm first. There's so many reasons why they should storm. That pretty much stamped their NCAA tournament berth by beating Duke. Also, Duke spends about I'd say 5 to 6 times more on basketball than Wake Forest. They're 40 miles up the road. Look, and I would push back on people. I know Kramer was saying that more court stormings are happening now than ever. I disagree. With that. They've always happened. They just weren't on Twitter. They weren't
covered.
Yes. And if anything, I think college athletics, the fact that you have these conferences that everyone's away from their old rivals, that the storming is actually down. I actually would argue that it's down because you're not playing your rivals as much. So I would push back on it. It's just we have cameras everywhere, and we have players that are little bitches that go out of their way to try to file. how about him tweeting out, "We need change. We need change."
We need change.
Like we're talking about fucking George Floyd or something.
Yeah, is this a civil rights movement? What are you fucking talking about? I do insist, though, if you're going to storm the court, that the storm continues off the court to the bars, to the house, wherever it is. It's like I like a mob group, but the mob group, all right, now let's go to the fucking shit, to the gaslight.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing. That's another element of this that's hilarious. It's like, well, you got to care about the players here. Yeah, he fell down. Let me tell you what you do in college. All right, even the athletes, they get super fucked up. All right. So you're sitting there saying this. You're the people at the university for 18 to 23 or whatever, 24, because now I know you can stay in college 10 fucking years, right? Guess what? They're going to be at the parties getting completely shit-faced, going to raves, taking drugs that that are, it's just so stupid to me. It's so stupid to say, oh my God, in this one instance, they're going to get hit way harder out at the fucking rave, what I mean? Or wherever they're at than they are in a court storm. Off. Yeah. If you're storming a court, that's basically like what they're going to be doing at the fucking nightclub that night.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's how they storm parties. That's how they come in, they storm it. What it's chicken patty day at the fucking Towers cafeteria. They storm that. That's how college kids move around. They move in storms.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to sit there and say there's no place for this. No place for this. There's no place for them being on the same platform. No, on the same platform as the players. Well, guess what? Those players are out at the fucking bars and at the raves and at the house parties later that night. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, people. Anyway, I don't know. The topic is terrible to me. Like, I know that I'm part of the problem in a way because I address it, but I just keep seeing all these fucking idiots state their opinion that we can't have this anymore. This is a danger. What? And by the way, what's the worst that someone gets punched in the face?
I know.
What's the worst?
It's usually gonna be the kid. You know what I mean? Like, no, especially with cameras, no one's going to intentionally attack the players. They're trying to go around them, and if anything, the players to defend themselves, and like I said, they are going to knock out the kid. And Underpants there put it in the chat room. That kid went flying. Who he did trip, and I'm sure he bounced right up. They're all like little toddlers. You
drinking all fucking day. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know I touched on this last night, and I'm going to be a broken record here, but you remember Stanford Cal with the band?
Of course.
Come on, that was way worse than anything we've seen in a court storm.
Right.
Kevin Bone goes out of his way to blast him, and guess what? They didn't need to carry the guy off. He got up and he fucking moved. He got up and he moved. All right.
Also, I want to show Seth Davis those old fucking highlights. They used to storm the court all the time in the NBA, like at least in the finals.
Yes.
They're not going to do it for the 82 regular season games. But there's that one where Larry Bird's like shoveling and elbowing people to get the hell out of there. That one Laker Piston game, they were on there with like 5 seconds to go in a 2-point game. Like they just shoved in there.
I've lost all respect for Seth Davis, man. I am complete. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. With some of your takes on when you go to a concert, you don't. What are you talking? What are you seeing? You going to see like classic music? What classical music? What is he talking about? Anyway. Let's get into today's slate and a little bit of today's and mainly tomorrow's. But before we do that, I want to tell you the college basketball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. And pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times the amount of money you enter in a single night. You got to check out Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today with the promo code SGPN and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pick'em special. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with the promo code SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 years or older and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play, call 1-800-522-4770 or visit ncpggaming.org. And look, SGPN is teaming up with Underdog to give you more of a bonus. Sign up between now and the end of the month, and 5 winners will also receive an Underdog hat, Underdog shirt, and a $50 SGPN gift card. So sign up today with the promo code SGPN and go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter the contest for your chance to win. All right. We are back, and shout out to the chat. Remember, you can watch this youtube.com/the college experience. Anything you are jumping on tonight? Because I am dog wise. I mean, I got some plays, but I'm saying dog wise. I do think the juiciest dog, in my opinion. I think the juiciest dog that could hit is Campbell. It's an in-state game. So Wilmington's kind of struggled with these in-state games. Now, Wilmington still could drill them. Wilmington won at Kentucky this year. They're the class of the CAA. But if you look, the first matchup, which was in Wilmington, was a 3-point game. Wilmington escaped. Right. Let's look at other North Carolina schools. North Carolina A&T covered against them. Now Wilmington still won by 19, but A&T covered. Elon just beat them on February 17th. Elon is in the state of North Carolina. Won in Wilmington 73-72. Big upset there. They also played at Wilmington, won by 12 earlier in the year. But I just feel like if there's a team to get them, it could be Campbell.
Campbell.
To me, if you're looking at dogs,
yes,
Campbell's one of the ones I like. I would say, I like Drexel.
Yeah,
but that's a big difference. It's 2.5 to 8.5 or whatever.
That's a yapper. I do not like Miami. Obviously, they look like a dead
I'm actually
team.
on Carolina, so no, do not take Miami. I know that is Nigel Pack going to play potentially.
Right.
I still think Carolina is the play there.
I was and anyone listening to the Weekend Bombs know I was on Georgia Tech money line, getting 9.5 plus 375 as they beat Miami outright down there. And I don't like West Virginia either. But as a short fave, not a dog, my only play tonight, college, which I like a lot, is TCU -2 versus just a bad spot for Baylor coming off that overtime game versus Houston, where they came all the way back. Not only was it an overtime loss and disheartening and everything that was in the season, but they had to come back from down like 20, which takes a lot out of you as well. So that's almost like a double, triple overtime game.
No, I'm on TCU as well.
Big 12 home team. I mean, it's just an auto play.
My plays for tonight are Drexel, North Carolina. I actually did sprinkle West Virginia a little bit. It was my smallest bet of the day. West Virginia to cover in Manhattan, not to win outright. North Carolina Central, I loaded up on. I also loaded up on Nichols to take down Incarnate Word. Remember, Incarnate Word's got a lot of guys suspended from that little fight
from that brouhaha. Did they ban that too? All these
no more handshakes.
Yeah, ban the handshakes. Well,
I like Julius Hodge, the former NC State player, saying what he goes, no one's ever had a problem with court storming unless you're the losing team. Right? Everyone else is happy, right? And he's like, what's next? We're going to get rid of cursing? Are we going to get rid of cursing? Shout out to Julius Hodge.
Love Julius Hodge. Love that NC State squad, actually. They were nice.
And a couple others. I am riding Texas Southern. I'm riding
Pine
Texas.
Bluff?
And I like Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And I like Bethune-Cookman. That's one of my favorite plays there. And but yeah, that's all the plays I'm on. And I actually bet Florida A&M, which is a little crazy.
I was just going to say, do you have an opinion on it? A&M? I'm on the over on that game.
It's a revenge game. I think Alabama, both teams are complete ass, right? Complete ass. But Alabama A&M clipped them at home in Bama. Florida A&M has improved. I think the second half of the season, they're still 5-20, but I think Florida A&M is going to get that win today. They're 3-7. Considering they're 3-7 in their last 10. That's what I mean. They've been playing a lot better ball than before. So give me the Rattlers at home there.
Moneyline Mac in the chat room said they should storm in Fort Worth tonight and then Lubbock tomorrow night. Just keep favoring. Moneyline Mac, another one, storming the Capitol to the courts.
No, I really think. Look, to me, I've never had a problem. Like, to me, like I said, it's got to be organic. If Baylor's number 11 in the nation, they're in Fort Worth. Somehow TCU's not ranked, which I would argue. They should storm. And Texas Tech tomorrow, 100%, because Texas spends way more. They're handicapping their whole finances by moving to the SEC. Yes, they should do that no matter what.
Right, like I said, there's a couple trump cards. I don't care if you are favored. Fuck Duke, fuck Texas, all those schools. You beat them, that's an auto storm.
Yeah, and to me, to me, if the court storms that I've been a part of, if you're just that none of them were fucking planned.
Yeah.
All right. We were sitting there drinking. We're like, oh shit, we might. I remember ECU was so bad in basketball. I remember one time we stormed when they took down Louisville. Mm-hmm. And we would go there to the games, but they were losing by every game by like 25. So all of a sudden, like, it was like we were down like I think 8 or 9 at half.
Yeah.
And the idea was like, oh my God, we're only down 8 or 9 to Louisville. And like, if we win this, we're fucking going on there, right? You know, like,
Yeah.
and to me, that's always kind of the way it's worked. I did one at UC Irvine. I did one at San Diego State, and I'm not even.
Exactly. And they're contagious. You don't have to be a part of it. You just get swept up in it. You get swept up in the storm. It's a waste.
That's what I'm saying.
We had a high school football game we played of, and we're in the Southern state championship. We lost this team Cherokee, who were like the Indians. My buddy's dad from our team joined their fans for the field storming. He all of a sudden he's got this big tomahawk. He's like, "See you, losers! I'm going. I'm storming the field. We're going to win." He's doing the chop. I'm like, "What the fuck?" There goes my ride.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean that's honestly what you should be. That's exactly what I would say. Like, that is college sports, and the minute you think about taking that away, the minute that the product becomes a bit like a gigantic chunk shittier. College football the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at tomorrow's slate.
Yes, let's get in there. I like tomorrow's slate.
I hear you think Georgetown's live.
I just faded them versus DePaul, but coming into Nova,
DePaul should have won outright. They should have run outright for you.
I should. And I did sprinkle it, but I gave still a winner, getting 4.5. Even a juiced up line, we predicted 3.5. So we saw value in our DePaul. It's tough to it's tough to back them. Although I would not lay 16 with Nova though, for sure.
Yeah, I'd actually take the Hoyas.
Yeah.
I'll take the Hoyas there. But if we're looking, I'm going to start off with dog action. All right.
Okay.
I think Pitt has proven that they can win against teams like Clemson. Now, Clemson actually has whooped their ass since they've joined the ACC. Pitt's only beaten them twice since they've joined the ACC, and that was in 2013, the same year. So, beware what you be. Just know that Pitt's got their ass whooped by Clemson. However, Pitt's won at Duke. They won at NC State. They won at a couple other tough environments.
They have impressive wins.
Yeah, I think they couldn't. They're getting 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a money line dropping yet, but I would assume you can get some pretty good value on the Panthers to go into. And Clemson, even though I do think this is the best Clemson team in a while, they have a history of losing big time games in February and March. So
I cannot trust Clemson. I can't.
Yeah. I'll jump in on a potential live dog is Pitt winning at Clemson. You got anything you like out there? You gonna take BYU in the fog? Their first trip to the fog in the Big 12?
You know what? I don't mind BYU here. Everyone's talking Kansas. Kansas isn't getting any credit. I get it. But BYU is a team that can win anywhere if they're hitting those threes.
And McCullough might not play still. He didn't play the other day against Texas. So
yeah, I don't mind. No one's talking about BYU in this spot at all. I mean, that's a lot of points to be given. But and they're a perfect money line. I'll take the 7. But that money line's not up yet too. But they're a perfect money because if they're covering the 7, I almost think they're winning outright. Because if they, when they're hitting it, they're tough to keep up with.
One of the craziest plays this weekend, and I would argue craziest plays of the whole year.
Yeah.
Was Air Force winning at the Pit as a 19-point dog.
I mean, I can't figure. I mean, it's the Air Force team. They're hilarious.
They're getting 9.5.
I know.
At home in Colorado Springs against Boise State, Mountain West Fun. Can they make it 2 in a row?
Yeah, no, that's not how they do it. They go up 1 and then they lose by 40. That's their routine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch that. I'm just trying to sell it. I'm trying to sell it to the crowd out there.
I love a Boise there, actually. Here's a gross little kind of a mini yapper here. It's a 4-point spread. A team that I've been fading because they looked heartless and terrible, and I can't believe I'm going back to them. But they did show me life on Saturday, and that's Indiana. And I hate this Wisconsin team too. I mean, I hate both these teams.
Dude, but I took Penn State. I cashed. What do you mean?
No, I had Penn State, but Indiana played them
Okay.
tougher than I thought it
Yeah,
was. you know,
yeah.
for sure. I mean, I'm not saying Penn State was the right side all the way around. They were only outside the number until the final minutes there, But Indiana obviously were embarrassed at home those last two back-to-back games versus Northwestern and Nebraska. And then they bounced back a little bit at Penn State. I think this is, if anything, a savior season. This is their season with a ranked garbage, overrated Wisconsin team coming to town. The bet detective sniffs a line. This line should be 8.5. This is half that. It's 4.
That's true. That is true.
The bet detective is checking this bad line for fentanyl, so my players in the streets don't get all jacked up. And I like Indiana to pull out the outright upset here.
Look, Wisconsin has been awful on the road this year.
Correct.
But I still took Wisconsin. I did the SGP show. We asked about this. I said, I don't know, Indiana. I just wonder the buy-in with Indiana. I wonder, like, they're talking Woodson Fire. Dusty May going to be the next coach of Indiana. People are saying it every fucking day. I don't have a strong feel on this one, but Wisconsin's 3-7 on the road. I think they need to get their shit together. I think they go in there and get the dub, but I see the logic. Assembly Hall will be rocking. Indiana fans show up. Doesn't matter how bad they are. They show up to support their team.
Yeah, they show up, and this will be a storming if they get this. Oh,
Yes.
that'll be a
Yes.
pure white storming.
Let's go. Go out. If you're going to if you're in Bloomington, make sure you storm that court. All right, get out there, storm that court. What about this one? Potential storming. I don't know that they'll be smart enough to realize this, even though they label themselves as a smart institution. Wake Forest is at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's catching 7.
I was just looking at that. I mean, obviously the spot couldn't be better for them. Wake Forest after Duke win.
Well, I don't get.
I mean,
The
This is
Leprechaun
it,
Holtz
right?
loves it. I mean,
This
this
is
is
it.
the spot. The only problem is it is Notre Dame basketball. That's the only thing holding me back for that. It's just
Pat
that
Garrity ain't walking through that door, huh?
Pat Garrity, freshman year credit card stealing Doug Gottlieb's not running through that door. It's
I look. I think it's worth taking a shot
for
on.
sure. It's a great
I think,
spot.
I think they're going to cover it. They're going to cover it. So take the points to cover your
All right.
ass. Sprinkle a little bit.
I will say they were insulted as a dog to Louisville the other day, and they won by 20. So I will give them credit for that, because I was like, "How are you underdog to Louisville?"
Look, Wake was a 2.5 point favorite against Duke. People said, well, you remember, well, you shouldn't storm the court as a favorite. Yeah, you should. And I'll give you a perfect example. Mississippi State's a 2.5 point
Yes.
favorite against Kentucky.
Yes.
I mean, let me just quickly pull up something here, because I believe I can make my case even better. But my point is that this line, can we get a bet? Why is the bet detective? How are you getting a line of Mississippi State minus 2.5? Vegas knows they're going to win.
The nose knows when there's a bad line, so we
this
sniff
one
that
is-
right up.
So hold on. Here's a perfect example of why they should storm.
Right.
The fact that Chris Jans, they haven't won against Kentucky in Starkville since 07, but all time 21 and 102. You storm every time. All right. When you've got your ass whooped that bad historically to Kentucky, you storm until that thing is fucking dead even. All right. So all about it, Starkville. Dude, I think we should bet. I'm going to bet the shit out of the line is telling you everything.
I'm already on it. Mississippi State
Yeah.
minus 2.5. I laid it. Perfect spot. Kentucky coming off that big Alabama track meet they were just in. It's very similar to the LSU game left from last week after they beat Auburn. The letdowns in between sandwich spot coming in there on the road.
That line in St. Bonaventure, you got red hot Loyola, 9-1 in their last 10, 7 straight wins. How the fuck is St. Bonaventure favored? It's the same exact situation. The line, they know the Bonnies are going to win that fucking game. All right. I'm all over the Bonnies at home. They're 10-3 at home. I just think they're
For sure.
They're going to get them. They're going to get them. It's just a bad
Upstate
spot.
New York. Yeah, I never know what happens up in those St. Bonaventure home games up there in the Bonnies. Is that in a fucking replicated church or
Can
something?
Can I add on that? You know who's in second place in the A10?
Who's that?
Dayton and Loyola play next.
That's a look ahead spot.
Yeah,
there
so
for
it's a
sure.
look ahead.
Yep.
It's
all
a
right.
look ahead. Yeah. So
Okay.
hang on.
Ooh, this line's already moving up. This is not a dog, but this is my favorite play of the day. I locked it up at 7, and so now it's 7.5.
What are we talking?
My favorite play tomorrow night is Iowa.
Oh, I
Minus
love it
7
too.
at home
I
versus
already
Penn
bet the
State.
shit out of this. Yeah.
This is a revenge game.
They're gonna win by 20.
They are.
I think they
They're
win
gonna,
by 20. Yeah.
They're gonna beat the brakes off of Penn State.
I love
Penn
that
State
play.
coming off the Illinois miracle win. It should have been a letdown. It kind of was a letdown spot, but they still covered versus Indiana because they're that bad. And now this is a revenge game, a nice team at home. The final couple weeks, this is what they do, and they're gonna win this game, like you said, by 20. They're gonna beat the brakes off.
That is my favorite play on the board too, and I locked it up on the SGP show. And I also have a couple other favorite plays, and one of them is Florida State. So NC State has North Carolina on Saturday. Everyone's saying NC State sniffing the NCAA tournament. Huh. That sounds familiar. My
Yeah.
whole life. They got a huge game coming up. What could they do the game before the huge game? They could go to Tallahassee and lose. And why is Florida State even favored? To tell you the truth, considering NC State's 17-10, Florida State's 14-13. Florida State's beating them. Florida State's beating them. Lay the 2.5. Seminoles are 3-7 in their last 10. Why are they favored?
Because NC State's NC State. You know
Yes.
exactly why. It's very personal.
So we get our kicks doing the Seminole rap. We are the Seminoles of Florida State. We know
Lay the 2.5.
I go in simple.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
like
think of
this.
this? You know, Texas is going to Lubbock for the final time. And when I say final time,
Goodness.
it's the final time. They're not going to schedule a home and home.
Right.
They might play them in Houston. They might play them in Phoenix. They might play them in Vegas. They're not going into Lubbock ever again, unfortunately. Texas Tech's going to fuck them up. Both teams coming off a loss. I think, Texas Tech is what, 14-1 at home this year? Make it 15-1.
Yeah, this is this is
yeah.
going to be lit. This place,
Yeah.
like you said,
Oh,
this
yeah.
will be a storming.
And storm.
Yeah.
You storm. Yes. St. Bonaventure. You storm. All right.
Goddamn right, you storm.
Well, storm watch. I'll give you a quick storm watch here. Notre Dame should storm. Texas Tech should storm. Indiana should storm. St. Bonaventure should storm. That might be all of them.
Storm
Mississippi
watch.
State. Mississippi
Storm
State.
watch is great.
Mississippi State should storm.
Yeah, Mississippi State for sure. Storm. Cue up the doors. Riders on the storm. Play it throughout the fucking.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go.
I got one I like in Fort Collins though, but this is a favorite. There's no doggies here.
I know. I looked at this game too, and they've been disappointing me lately. But this seems like the spot to do it.
They've lost what? 2 in a row. They blew a
Right.
double-digit lead against UNLV, but meanwhile,
Unbelievable.
Nevada's won 3 straight. What could go wrong when they go to Fort Collins, where Colorado State's 14-1?
What's going on with Nevada, New Mexico, and all those teams? What are they doing?
This might be the best play of the day because it pushes the Iowa, Penn State, NC State, Florida State one a little bit, just because Colorado State's in 7th in the Mountain West right now.
Yeah, they need this.
They need it way more than Nevada.
How
They need
insane
it way
is
more
that?
than
They're
Nevada. Yeah,
How insane is that they're in 7th?
and they're
they were-
ranked.
right.
They're number
That's what I
22.
mean.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Insane. Dude, they're going to fuck them up. I'm all over Colorado State. They're going to win. This is a double-digit win. This and Penn State, Iowa, double-digit wins. Florida State, I'm not going to say double-digit win, but I think Florida State gets it. What are you doing
I like
here?
that. Well, I'm on Colorado State. This is their get right game. They need to get this. This is insane that they're a 7 seed and they're ranked. Even though I was on UNLV against them, but it's still they blew that lead. And yeah, I love them anywhere in Fort Collins, getting the altitude. Double digit. I don't know if I'm that confident, but I like them going away on this one.
Shout out to the Rage Child in the chat. As a lifelong Longhorn fan, I'll be upset if Tech doesn't storm the court. If they beat us, they won't. But if they do, storm
Yes.
that shit by all means. Hook 'em,
Storm
baby,
that
he
shit.
says. There we go.
I like that. Storm that shit by all means. Is that a Malcolm X quote?
Vanderbilt's catching 9.5 at Arkansas. Arkansas is all of a sudden figured out Musselman's. Hey,
Yes.
took down Missouri, took down Texas A&M. They're showing signs of life. What could go wrong? Vanderbilt's always just. Arkansas's had some close games against shitty opponents this year.
Oh, they've been bad. I mean, they've been bad until recently. Last couple of weeks, we've been on them. We noticed what Musselman does. He gets there eventually, and that's what they're doing. Yeah, at the same time, I can't trust.
No,
Vanderbilt
I can't do it either.
I mean,
All right, hold on. But you know who's burned me lately? Wyoming. But
Yeah,
I see
no
one
shit.
more.
Well, it's personal.
One
You're
more
loyal.
trip.
You're
one more
loyal.
trip back to Laramie. One more. They're getting 5.5, 6
Yep.
against UNLV. UNLV's been a mystery team all fucking year. The Air Force beat them by 41 game that you were on.
You're a sucker for
Yeah.
Pirates and Cowboys. You know, you're a sucker for those old white vigilantes.
I'm loading up on the boys at Laramie. I think that money line's live. What do you think about that one? No, you're not touching that one?
Like you said, I mean, I've tailed a little bit Wyoming recently, and I'm sick of them, to be honest with you. But this is a good spot for them. I was on UNLV. UNLV just had a big victory, in a tough game in Wyoming. Craziness does happen in Laramie. Hasn't recently, but this is a good spot for them. I would definitely take the 5. I would think this line would be bigger too. This line does sniff a little bit. The detective would gumshoe around there,
Yeah. I think they know a little something. You get the
They
bet
do know
detective
something.
on the
Not
case.
much higher, right? Not much higher, but I thought it was going to be 7. To be honest,
Take a trip to Laramie, buddy.
I know.
We're gonna
It's
talk about a
lawless.
couple. We're gonna talk about a couple other games, but before we do that, I want to tell you the college basketball experience. Bombs Down Under episodes brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform. Parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start research and start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. I mistakenly said when Cincinnati lost at TCU on Saturday,
All right.
I said, you know what? Cincinnati's season's done. They're not going to be able to make the tournament. I forgot that they had a game at Houston because not that I'm saying Cincinnati's going to win this game, but if they somehow do win this game, they're back in the mix to make the tournament. Houston is undefeated at home. This was a 5-point game in Cincinnati.
Came down to the last minute. A couple conversions that just didn't happen for them. They had a chance to win that game.
Both elite offensive rebounding teams, both chart in the top. I mean, obviously, Houston's number one rated defense. But
I agree. They're very similar styles. I mean, Houston's just better at it, But they're kind of like a little kind of a dollar store version of them, if you will.
Any chance you're taking a flyer on the 12.5 or the money line?
Yeah, I'm saying 13.5 now. I would definitely take 13.5. And money line's tough, but because it's because it will be a rock fight type of game or Houston blows them out. But it could very well be a rock fight type of game. So I definitely like the points. And while you're there, you might as well sprinkle a little bit of money line. They're definitely the more desperate team. And Houston's coming off, like we said, just with Baylor, an exhausting overtime game, which they pulled out where they gave up a lead, pulled it out at the end, and then it's an easy letdown spot. Why would they give a fuck about the Cincinnati game?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky spot because they're so good at home, though.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They're good at home, and they can put them away early.
Yeah. This is not a dog, but I think we should put all of our money on Bowling Green minus 3.5 against Miami. Miami, Ohio has been horrible on the road this year. Mm-hmm. They're playing at Bowling Green. Bowling Green's still in contention for a seeding within the MAC. I know they're probably not going to get the 1 seed, but they're still in that mix. I think Bowling Green. I know they're coming off the rivalry game. That's the only thing is they're coming off the Battle of I-75.
Yeah,
where we played Bowling Green on this very show, money line, and it hit. But I just don't think Miami, Ohio is any good, especially when Miami, Ohio hits the road. And I think we load up, and Miami, Ohio is 4-10 on the road. Bowling Green's 11-3 at home. Bowling Green won by 5 in Oxford, Ohio, against Miami, Ohio, earlier in the year. I think they complete the sweep. I personally think they win by double digits. Boom.
Boom is right. Yeah, I think it's gonna be sluggish to the beginning, then eventually they'll pull away. Like you said, it's just Miami, Ohio is not good, especially on the road. And but it is a letdown for Bowling Green, but I think eventually they'll get it done.
Yeah. Any chance you're taking the Hokies in Syracuse, New York?
I am not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't get my I can't get a pulse on the Syracuse team. Sometimes I write them off, and then all of a sudden they go on a tear.
I think they'll win this game though. I think it's a decent opportunity there. Davidson's getting 9.5 at Dayton. Any chance them Wildcats? No.
Not at all. Yeah,
they might be able to cover that though.
Not at all. What do you think that Georgia LSU game?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, that one
you could have a live dog there. I mean, I lean LSU because they've just been playing better in the past month than Georgia, but Georgia's certainly capable. That's anyone's game. LSU can still lose to anybody.
Yeah, that is anyone's game. That's also I'll take the 3.5 and the over. These type of games I love betting the over too. Just when there's like two mediocre teams just running and gunning at each other.
I got one for you that's worth a flyer.
Ooh, I like a Dayton flyer. What do we got?
Let's go to San Marcos, Texas.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Texas State, they've been a decent program in the Sun Belt over the years.
Right.
They're having a down year. Down year. Now they are 7-4 at home still have a winning record at home, but they're not very good. And when I look at ULM this year,
how's Monroe looking?
First off, they just lost to Troy, who's like one of the best teams in the Sun Belt, but only by 6. That's a respectable loss. And before that, they knocked off their arch rivals, Louisiana Raging Cajuns, who I think are a top 5 team in the Sun Belt. They also had won 3 in a row before that. So they're playing a lot better ball. I think they're live against Texas State. Now they did lose on January 13th to Texas State by 13 at home in Monroe, Louisiana.
The old road revenge.
They're playing better is all I'm saying. They're playing better. I could see the Warhawks making that a game. That's all I'm saying.
I think this line. No, I mean I like your angle with it. It is tough to shake that image of them just losing at home to them. 5 is the right line, I think, but sure, I have no opinion on it, but I think I like I mean,
no. That means no. I don't want this fucking game, Colby.
I don't want this game, but I will side with you with Monroe. I'll tail you on it, but
I'm just saying. I'm looking for reasons. What about Fresno at the Save Mart Center? Bring your discount card because Fresno's getting 10 against Utah State.
Now this I can get behind. This I like a nice big old dog. I don't know about the money line, but I'll take the 10 with Fresno at home for sure.
Fresno, they've lost 3 straight.
Mm-hmm.
They did get drilled in Logan, but that's normal. They lost by 21 in Logan. Now at the Save Mart Center.
Yeah,
I can see them covering the 10. I can see them covering the 10 against
Utah. Yeah, Utah State coming off a tough battle with San Diego State at home.
I like it.
Match. I mean, it's a nice little spot there. Absolutely. I'll take the 10, no problem. And who the hell am I kidding? While I'm there, I'm sprinkling the money line. What am I not going to take the money line?
You got it. All right. So just for the record,
right? My
top plays. I think we see eye to eye. Iowa's going to beat the piss out of Penn State.
Iowa. Number 1 play. Iowa.
Love Iowa. I actually think to me the second best play is Colorado State.
Colorado State. Yeah.
My top 4, I would probably put Florida State, or I'd put Bowling Green next, then Florida State. That would be my top 4.
I like that. I want Iowa, Mississippi State. I like.
Oh, I like that too. Actually, yeah. No, you should do a parlay of the stinky lines. St. Bonaventure and Mississippi State. Parlay those. Yep. Parlay those right now. Get on in on that action.
That's like a Law and Order and CSI back-to-back episodes for the Bet Detective. That's what that is right there. When you parlay those two. That's a block of sex crimes coming at you.
And the Texas Tech angle's not. I mean, there's a lot I like on the Tuesday card. Much better than the Monday card. Anyway, I don't know.
Bowling
Anything
Green.
else?
You mentioned Bowling Green, right?
I love that Bowling Green. That's a top 4 play for me. Top 4 play.
For dogs, what were we? The Irish in there. That was a nice.
Pitt,
nice
I
dog
think Pitt
play.
could be live. The Irish could be live.
Wyoming.
Wyoming could be live. Wyoming is the one that I think like most likely to happen would probably be Wyoming.
And I'm personally, I know we're going against each other, but I'm personally on Indiana.
Yeah, I might change my pick. I'm thinking about that one.
That makes no sense. Come on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that one. Fresno plus 10, maybe.
Fresno plus 10. Put it in there.
Talk ourselves into that.
Pack that in the round robin, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Folks,
Absolutely.
that's our show. All right, we will be back on Thursday or Friday. Thursday or Friday, probably Thursday. Talking. I mean, this Saturday. College basketball card's insane. Is obviously it's March this Saturday, folks. You know what that means? The madness is here.
Yes.
Give CJ Sullivan a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. It's a year-round show. All right, this isn't some seasonal bullshit.
All right,
you know what I mean? They're deep into college hoops right now. All right, deep in they're touch base on golf, touch base on
we hit some golf. We hit some golf bombs. We hit some NBA bombs. We throw some hockey.
little NHL in there. Woo,
White,
load up.
white guys with sticks, hockey and golf. We don't care.
I'm saying college baseball. You got the fucking you got horse racing always going on too. You got the Kentucky Derby coming up in a couple months. I mean, just load up. Get on over there. I know you think, oh, the NFL's over. Oh no. Bottom Line Bombs rocks year round. Get on over there and detonate that bomb. All right.
We're giving out combine plays. We'll even do that illegal slave trade they do there in Indianapolis every year, where they check the teeth of all these new players coming in.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper? All right. I ain't never seen him wear a jockstrap.
Let's see shuttle run, boy.
Folks, also give me a follow on Twitter at TheColbyD. We're the College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And anyone who court storms this week, I'm going to send an SGPN gift card to. Just got to get footage. Have some footage of the wife, the girlfriend, whoever, your friend. Take some footage of you court storming, because college sports, college football, college basketball, college baseball, you storm if you pull off the upset. That is college sports. Get the fuck out of here. We'll be back later tonight with NC Nick and Moneyline Mac talking Tuesday college basketball slate, scheduled for somewhere between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Pacific. So buckle up. Until next time. This is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know what you're getting.